Shares in Novagold Resources have jumped more than 60% this week. There is a deal afoot. The company and John Paulson's Paulson Advisers plan to buy Barrick's 50% stake in the huge Donlin gold project in Alaska. They're paying $1 billion US. Let's get more from the Novagold, and there's the outline of the deal. And just to remind you, this is huge. I mean, if it's ever built, RBC says this thing could produce 1 million ounces a year for decades, 30 plus years. So this is, I mean, it's a rich deposit. It's one of the biggest undeveloped gold deposits out there. Let's get more from Novagold's chairman, Thomas Kaplan. Thomas, thanks very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Andrew.
So Barrick is more interested in copper these days. That's one reason we're hearing why they've decided to let you and John Paulson move ahead with this thing.
That's correct. It's a matter of public record that Barrick wants to not so much rebalance, but balance its portfolio in terms of the percentage weighting to gold and copper. Obviously, copper is a large capex consideration. They have two major projects undergoing in Pakistan at Reko Diq and in Zambia at Lumwana, not to mention the Pueblo Viejo expansion in the Dominican Republic. A company has to husband its resources and put it where it thinks it's going to get the most joy in terms of its profile. We, on the other hand, really only believe in precious metals as the place where we want to be. That's our thesis. And we believe that the combination of attributes that Donlin has, the size, the grade, the mine life, the exploration potential, gives us something that is unique. Most importantly, John Paulson feels the same. His $800 million investment directly into the mine is absolutely extraordinary. And in as much as Barrick has other uses for its resources, I do believe that what John Paulson has done may yet prove to be one of the greatest gold mining investments in modern times.
And Paulson, of course, one of the most prominent hedge fund managers on Wall Street. He's bet big in the past and got things right. So you've got a pretty prominent partner there. It is challenging, though. I mean, there's no news here. It's a remote project. The capex investment back in 2020 was more than $7 billion US. So you're dreaming big here.
Well, you know, our trademark as Electrum, which is the family company that we own with some sovereign wealth fund participation, always goes for what we consider to be category killer assets. And our track record in silver, in platinum, and in hydrocarbons was major assets that were primarily acquired by large industrial companies because they were tier one and world class in every respect. All of those, by the way, in those several sectors, we had 100x returns. And I think that's really a function of the fact that big assets get the premium rating. And if past is prologue, I do believe that the Novagold share price will multiply to reflect its going back to the position that it held not that long ago as being one of the premier go-to stocks in the gold development space. A lot of things have changed, of course, to add even more tailwind for us. The headwind is gone. You know, we in Barrick have parted. We're friends.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The tailwinds are that gold is now over $3,000. And for us, the leverage that gives us is not just incredible, but also for John Paulson, he wants to be able to have that kind of leverage to well over 1 million ounces a year for decades in a jurisdiction that we both believe will allow us to keep the fruits of that leverage. You know, I made my career starting in Bolivia and then in Zimbabwe, South Africa. I sold the Kibale project to Mark Bristow at Randgold. He will often say that the only two people who believed in that project were Tom Kaplan and me. And it's true. And he did an unbelievable job in that. If there's anyone who can execute the conversion of Barrick into Barrick mining, it's going to be Mark.
You studied history. You have a doctoral degree in history from Oxford. So give us a historian's perspective before we let you go. Is fiat currency in trouble? Is that why you're keen on gold? I'm sorry, we are a little tight for time.
No question. For years, I would say to people when they would say what currency to own, I'd say own the dollar. All fiat currencies are toilet tissue, but the dollar at least is double ply, and own gold, because ultimately I do believe that whereas I can't say what's going to happen to the dollar, I do believe that the dollar is in the process of a major, major decline against gold.
We better leave it there. Thank you very much indeed, Thomas. And certainly you're getting an endorsement from the market this week in terms of Novagold shares. Really appreciate it. Thomas
Thank
Kaplan,
you for having me on.
Chairman of Novagold.